Some Democrats feeling a little antsy about next week's vote. The headline in New York Magazine reading, "Here we go again. Fierce spread of Iowa-style chaos in Nevada caucuses." Here to talk about it is Megan Messerly, political reporter for the Nevada Independent. Good morning to you, and great to have you here this morning, Megan.
Thank you.
Let me pick your brain a little bit about what you're hearing on the ground there. In this New York Magazine article, they warned that there's been no hands-on training with iPads being deployed to caucus sites on Election Day, nor opportunities to try out a new tool that will be loaded onto the iPads and used during the caucus process. Could we see a repeat of Iowa in Nevada?
That's certainly something that volunteers and campaigns I'm talking with on the ground here are thinking about. Yesterday, we got details from the Nevada State Democratic Party on what the caucus process is actually going to look like. They released more details about that tool that previously we did not know what that was going to look like. We understand now it's going to be a Google Forms-based calculator that they will use. It will be on party-purchased iPads and access through a browser. They've started training volunteers on this new tool as of yesterday, so folks are supposed to be getting this hands-on experience. I think volunteers I'm talking to are happy that they finally have details now and are getting some training, but obviously I think tensions are high given that we're only one day out from early voting and only a week out from the actual caucus itself.
Add to that early caucusing and you wonder what exactly might play out there. So we'll be watching all of that. Meanwhile, Nevada's powerful culinary union has decided to not endorse a 2020 Democrat. They just want to focus their time on the party and beating Donald Trump. Here is the treasurer for that union making her case.
We're not going to endorse a candidate, a political candidate. So we're going to endorse our goals, what we're doing. That's what we're going to endorse. We respect every single political candidate right now. We know they are great people. Members being learning about every single candidate. We believe in democratic process. People have to have choice in life.
Considering that union has a very powerful political voice on the ground there, what was the takeaway of the lack of endorsing any one candidate?
Yeah, the general thinking here has been that this was a blow to the former Vice President Joe Biden. The culinary union even mentioned, that Joe Biden has long been a friend to the union. He was actually the only candidate that they mentioned by name in their non-endorsement announcement yesterday. So that was largely the thinking. So for other, moderate candidates that don't back Medicare for all plans, which the union opposes, this kind of levels the playing field. But the union really is focusing on the issue of healthcare this election. They run a union health trust. They do not want to see Medicare for all go into effect. And so for them, a lot of the focus is about educating their members about that and the positions of candidates on Medicare for all, who supports it, who wants a public option, which they prefer. And that is their sort of primary focus going into this caucus.
Meanwhile, if I could ask you what the future is for Joe Biden, the thinking on the ground there in Nevada, with the spokesperson for his campaign saying, as Vice President Biden's made clear, we have yet to hear from the most committed constituencies in the party, people of color. In Nevada and South Carolina, the first opportunities for that to happen. The strategic and most effective use of our team is to focus their energy and talents in these two states that reflect the base of the Democratic Party and Joe Biden's strengths. And we hear that as we now know that the Biden campaign is deploying dozens of staffers to both Nevada and South Carolina, bringing the total on the ground there in Nevada to 130.
That's right. Yeah, that will actually make Joe Biden's campaign the second largest on the ground. Bernie Sanders has about 250 plus staffers on the ground. Mayor Pete Buttigieg has about 100 staffers on the ground. So he's clearly investing all of his resources, pulling those away from Super Tuesday states and into Nevada. The question, I think, will be, is it too little, too late? And looking at, too, his support among voters of color here, polls have shown us that he does do well with voters of color, but so does Bernie Sanders. And so we're waiting to see how those voters feel, post-Iowa and post-New Hampshire, and whether Joe Biden is still the candidate for them.
All great information on the ground there in Nevada. We appreciate it, Megan. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.